Hello and welcome, Pocket Watch here, and it's about time for yet another episode of Cyber Slayer. So we are getting closer and closer to the end, and apparently from what I saw in the comments, one of the dumbest ending ever in the visual novels. Who knows? I'm not here to judge yet, we'll see. Maybe I will actually like this ending. Who knows, you know? Also, dumb ending doesn't necessarily mean bad ending, right? So maybe it's dumb and I will like it, who knows? Anyway, let's just continue and let's just see what's going to happen, how the story will unfold, and yeah, how the fight will end. Let's go. Toluo takes the stance. Lightning gathers at the mountaintop, at the point of his sword held at eye level, in preparation for a deadly offensive, and begins to gradually close the range to his enemy. Yep. Yeah, Toluo is not in the best shape. Is this a new soundtrack? Is this a new soundtrack? I like this soundtrack. Holy wow, this is good. Taojun Rapier describes a graceful arc through the air, ending with a hilt pulled back the blade parallel to his chest, as though his torso is bowstring and his sword is cocked arrow. This is the stance. Dragon Fang pierce steel. Wow, this soundtrack is fire. I love it. This is cool. Both have taken stances that will allow them to unleash all 64 forms at the moment of contact, indicating their intention to finish this in a single deadly salvo. The combatants enter the Qingyong breathing cycle. In the confrontation between Neji swordsmen, it is no exaggeration to say that the outcome rests solely on each fighter's ability to keep his Daitan charged with chi. Yeah. Unfazed by the tension cracking between them, Haojun casually turns his head to the side. Okay. I guess that makes sense, right? Because it's like normal brain and you can actually damage his like internal organs in general that are like normal. So basically his brain is like the only normal thing in him. A direct interface terminal is visible at the base of his skull, implanted there where it would not be interfere with his artificial meridians. It is Honju's only weak point. The one place on the body devoid of electronic devices, or electromagnetic induction can occur. Like, Leo is like typical villain. He just gave up his like weak spot. I guess he's just that confident. I mean, Paolo is just like he said, like one leg in the grave, right? Pretty much. Having the question hanging, Haojun takes a single step towards Taoluo. By this casual motion, the distance between them shrinks past the point of no return. This is the moment that Taoluo blade was waiting for. How can it not seize it? The Wodao leaps into motion, as though loosened from a cannon, bearing glittering patterns through the air as it strikes towards Haojun. Yep, he's just going to deflect it. Haojun Rapier darts out to meet it, deflecting the Wodao strikes with no less ease than it showed in the previous skirmish. A battle between the Jia swordmasters is ultimately a contest of the perception of who can read further and faster into his foe attacks. Yeah, act before thinking. Whoa. Okay. This is that's been cool. I like how different their stances are. They have the same school, but using the different stances. Before the attacker's sword lashes out, the defender blade is there to meet it. The attacker instantly switches techniques, avoiding his opponent's attempt to neutralize his weapon. Thus, the combatant swords meets only in the beginning of each move, brushing lightly against each other, before swiftly following into the next of the endless chain of thrusts and counters. This soundtrack is... I can't get over the soundtrack, this is so good. Can you let me know in the comments what's the name of the soundtrack? Because it's not showing up anywhere in the game, right? Let me know in the comments. What is the name of the soundtrack? I don't think I heard this before. If one were to think their exchanges merely fast and playful, lacking in aggression, he would be sorely mistaken. The aura of intense violence surging between those warriors would no doubt instantly petrify any observer. Okay. That's so fast. Should a combatant fail to defend against even a 1 over 10 or 20 attacks coming every second, his enemy blade will climb his life in an instant. The tension mounts with each passing second as the two men dance at the edge of the death, knowing that the next moment could see either taking the final plunge. The flashing blades churn the air into the whirlwind, filling the garden with the sound of cracking branches and swaying trees. Taoluo answers Haojun's most powerful techniques with the indomitable ferocity of a wolf starved of prey, giving no ground before the elder disciple who once seemed so unreachable. This is the final marshalling of Taoluo's strength and skill, fueled by the dying flame of his life. Ooh, this is... I actually got chills. His mind is empty, all rage and malice given onto his sword. The screaming of his adrenaline-charged muscles, the gasping of his shredded lungs, no one of it reaches him. Haojun's words, as he weathers Taoluo's savage assault, are filled with heartfelt admiration. But the true meaning of Haojun's prize is not in the words themselves. Even under these most harrowed conditions, he's still capable of such banter. This, more than anything, speaks the unbridgeable gap that exists between them. Yeah, Taoluo must like extremely focus on what he's doing, and Haojun is just like, yeah, I can just talk casually while fighting, why not? What a beast. I wonder if like really will like distract him or something and Taoluo will win because of her distraction maybe. Yeah, one blow is all that is needed here. One good blow. In desperation, Taoluo risks everything on reaching Hand-Pluck's soul, fully prepared to sacrifice his own life to claim his enemy. With a mighty lunge that almost doubles his range, he slashes down Haojun's shoulders as though to cleave his body in two. Rather than retreat before the suicidal attack, Haojun simply steps forward and, slipping beneath the holding blade by no more than a hair beneath, a sheath of silk suddenly appears between the combatants as they pass each other. The hem of Haojun Changshan. Wait, what? The instant... Oh, wait. Sheet of silk? You mean like the cape? I think like he means the cape that... the coat that Taoluo wears, right? The instant his vision is blocked by the fabric, a shiver of terror turns in Taoluo's spine to eyes. Okay, never mind. It's not his cape, it's not his plan. Crouching dragon tail. In a flash, he channeled internal power into his left arm and guards the side of his head. A moment later, Haojun reverse roundhouse streaks through the building, clove and explodes against Tao Luo blocking arm. Oh, so Liu just like switched position and it looked like Tao Luo sees just the fabric of like a Liu outfit basically. Okay. Able to absorb the impact with the footwork alone, Tao Luo is forced to leap far back to avoid being bowled over to the force a Haojun kick. Now, while outside each other range, the warriors face off once again. Up to this point, they have exchanged some 200 moves. Those duels would have been settled long ago. This confrontation, however, is between fellow disciples who know each other's secret techniques inside and out. The more evenly matched their skill, the longer the stalemate will last. Yeah, but Leo is like superior here, right? So it shouldn't take long. But the eventual victor at least has been already decided. Even now, Haojun is still casually waving his rapier in invitation. Tao Luo, however, is foaming at the mouth. His spittle flecked with the blood as he grasps for breath like the landed fish. Yeah, Tao Luo is like in terrible condition. Just as Haojun pointed out at the beginning of their fight, Tao Luo's body is already at the brink of death. The blood leaking from his ruptured lungs can no longer be stopped from pouring into his white pipe. One combatant is Cyborg, who represents the latest in cutting-edge technology. The other is a man whose body has been torn to tatters by the stress forced upon it again and again. Alas, the outcome of their battle was never in doubt. But even faced with such hopeless odds, the fierce light still blazing in Tao Luo's eyes shows that he will never accept defeat. The unquenchable flame of bloodlust will not allow him to fall, not so long as he has a hand to hold his sword and legs to carry him. Yeah, but what you can realistically do, Tao Luo, at this point? Seeing this, Haojun sighs and looks upon Tao Luo with pity. He lowers his stance, letting his sword dangle carelessly at the side. Oh. Okay, he's going. Okay. He's going into like, I don't know, like mixed mode, I guess. He's going to mix like Neji and Wajia schools into one. Because that's what he suggested, right? Like he has like ultimate, he has the best of Wajia and Neji at the same time. So yeah, he's going to use like his own, basically right now. Not the Neji techniques, but his own, I guess. His words may be bold, but there exists no technique that can be performed from such a vulnerable position. Tao Luo's caution is only strengthened by those mysterious actions. Okay. Tao Luo does not lower his guard, even for a fraction of a second. Indeed, his senses are more finely honed than ever before. And yet, Tao Luo completely fails to grasp the sequence of events that next unfold before his eyes. It just disappeared, what the fuck? Okay, an explosion of sound. A sudden tornado of sound and dust. A shockwave blast the branches from the surrounding trees. Damn! Oh shit. What? Is this after image? He's like cloning himself with like how fast he's moving. Probably, right? In the midst of the smoke and debris, Tao Luo sees them. 4 Haojuns coming upon him from all directions. Yup, okay. Okay, this is sick. This guy is insane. He has no time to even finish his shout, much less respond to this utterly impossible sight. Powerless to tear his eyes from the glittering trails left behind in the rapid wake, Tolu was unable to catch the split second that he plunged deep into flesh of his arms and legs. Okay, Taolu is done. So there's not going to be Taolu winning in this. So are we going to have like the ending where Liu actually won? He cries out in agony, blood spraying from holes in his limbs that were not there a moment ago. Haojun watches with a scornful smile, still standing in the same position as though he never moved at all. Yeah, that's been overkill. Yeah, okay, because you basically cannot damage yourself with this. So you can go into like ultimate limits. As it turns out, the sudden boom and shockwave were caused by Haojun's body shattering the sound barrier. What the fuck? He merely ran a little circle around Taolu while stabbing him 4 times in succession. But with Haojun's speed far exceeding anything perceivable by the human eye, Taolu could only catch the after images left in the wake of his attacks. And who can blame him? Even being heavily upgraded senses had not been able to discern Haojun's movements, and he probably was not even serious back then.
たとえ水準以下の性能しかない擬態でも、こうして内径で操れば、規格外のパワーを発揮する。
Haojun picks up where he left off as though he never stopped talking, at the same time brushing the feeble remains of his Changsha-shan from his shoulders. His coat hangs in tatters, shred by the air fraction at supersonic speed. Yep, okay. Taolu is still alive. Only by Haojun's sufferance, of course. Had he so chosen, he could easily kill Taolu with any of all of his force thrusts. In the end, this duel was never any more than a game for Haojun. Yeah, okay, so basically Taolu will die, probably. And probably Liu will like transfer Little Ruili mind into the bigger one, and he will like bring back his like Ruili like from the past, basically, right? With like normal body, maybe, and she will like then recognize that Taolu is dead, and that will be like again hell for her, as she said before, and she will be like, what the fuck, Haojun, like why did you kill my brother? Stuff like this, you know? Maybe that's the case. Anyway, that's not going to be a good ending. I mean, like, happy ending. I don't see how this could be a happy ending in a way. Taoluo no longer has even the slightest chance of victory. His tendons and ligaments may still be intact, but the wounds in his arms and legs are deep enough to inhibit his movements. Where's Ruili, actually? That's what I asked in the previous episode as well. We still don't know where the Ruili is. He left her like behind somewhere, but what is she doing? Is she like observing this? Why she's not intervening? But Taoluo does not fall. His grip on his sword is as strong as ever. He should not have the strength to support his own weight, let alone raise his weapon, and yet he stands. For hatred still surges from his soul, threatening to burst the confines of his mortal flesh. And by the power, he is able to resist the instant pull of death. Taoluo knows, as long as his obsession remains firm, the Abyss will never be able to claim him. Yeah, that's not how it works. His rage is the only thing keeping his broken body moving. Seeking any way to keep it strong. He gathers his failing breath and gives voice to his hate.
何もかも貴様が奪った。貴様のせいで全てが壊れた。ルイディは俺の全てだった。ルイディもまた同じだと。なぜ気づいてやらなかった。
Yeah, you've been everything for her too, and you was never here for her, actually. Haojun breaks into Taulu in invective, his voice colder and softer than ever before.
なんだと。
Yeah. Haojun has been smiling all through this savage battle, but now that smile has vanished without a trace.